Hello friends, welcome to SAM biology class. Hormones are a class of signaling molecules that are released directly into the circulation by endocrine glands. Endocrine glands do not have any ducts or openings to the exterior, so they are ductless glands. After release into the circulation, hormones are carried by the circulatory system to the distant target tissue where they diffuse out of capillaries and interact with specific receptor to form hormone receptor complex. This hormone receptor complex then initiate a cascade of reaction with each stage becoming more powerfully activated. As a result of this, a small amount of hormone has a large effect. So hormones act through receptors. Receptors are highly specialized proteins. They are specific in nature. That means a specific receptor can bind with a specific hormone. The cells which possess receptors for a particular hormone will respond to that hormone. On the other hand, the cells which do not have the receptors do not respond. For some hormones, receptors are located on the cell surface. For other hormones, they can be located either in the cytosol or in the nucleus. For example, protein and peptide hormones and also catecholamines are water soluble. They are lipophobic, because of which they cannot pass through the cell membrane. Their receptors are located on the cell surface. So these hormones such as protein and peptide hormones binds with cell surface receptor to form hormone receptor complex. On the other hand, steroid and thyroid hormones are lipophilic, so they can easily diffuse through the cell membrane and nuclear membrane, and their receptors are located inside the cell. So after diffusing into the cell, steroid and thyroid hormones binds with specific receptor to form hormone receptor complex, which then target specific DNA sequence. Based on the location, receptors can be divided into three types. Number one, cell surface receptors. These receptors are located on or in the cell membrane. Examples are the receptors for protein and peptide hormone and for catecholamines. Cell surface receptors are specialized integral membrane proteins that enable communication between the extracellular space and the cell interior. Second one is cytosolic receptors. These are located in the cytosol. Examples are the receptors for steroid hormones. And third one is nuclear receptors. Such receptors are located inside the nucleus. They are believed to be in direct association with one or more chromosomes. Examples are the receptors for thyroid hormones. This figure depicts different types of receptors and the mechanism of hormone action. One type of receptor is membrane receptor, which is located on the cell surface. So here the hormone binds with a specific cell surface receptor to form a hormone receptor complex, which then activate a second messenger that result in a series of changes in different activities inside the cell. Whereas for steroid and thyroid hormones, the receptors are located inside the cell. So these hormones, because of their lipophilic nature, easily diffuse into the cell, and after that they bind with specific receptors to form hormone receptor complex, which is then target specific DNA sequence that result in the change in the rate of transcription of different genes. The number of receptors in a target cell usually doesn't remain constant from day to day or even from minute to minute. Receptor proteins are often inactivated or destroyed during the course of their function. At other times, they are reactivated or new ones are manufactured by the target cell. For instance, increased hormone concentration and increased binding with the receptors cause the number of active receptors to decrease. This is the down regulation of the receptors, which can arise as a result of number 1, inactivation of some of the receptor molecules, number 2, inactivation of intracellular protein signaling molecules, number 3, destruction of receptors by lysosome after they are internalized, number 4, temporary sequestration of the receptor at a site different from the site of action or due to decreased rate of formation of receptors. In each case, the responsiveness of the target tissue to the hormone decreases. On the other hand, some hormones cause upregulation of the receptors and the protein signaling molecules. In this case, the hormone induces greater than normal formation of receptors and signaling proteins. If this is the case, then the responsiveness of the target tissue to the stimulating effect of the hormone progressively increases. Chemicals and drugs that are structurally similar to a hormone can also bind with the receptor. After binding, if the receptor is stimulated, then it brings about activities of the hormone. Such a chemical is known as agonist. On the other hand, after binding, if the receptor is not stimulated, then the hormone is blocked. And such type of chemicals are known as antagonists. This principle is used in the treatment of various endocrinal disorders by using specific agonists and antagonists. So friends, this is all about different types of hormone receptors, agonists and antagonists. For more updates, please subscribe my YouTube channel, Sam Biology Class.